Speaker and put our ugly mutts up. And it does show the Premier League table. Cuts a bit of my head, but I'll take that. Doesn't matter. You can still see everything on there. Right, might as well start going. Right, welcome everyone to this week's show. And we've got a few things to cover off alongside my co-hosts Rick and Nutty to give their expertise, advice, or shall I say, disagreements. If one of us disagree with something the other says, normally me, stirring the pot, but we'll see how today goes. So welcome everyone that's here so far. Gilly, I know you're here. Welcome. And what I want to start off with is I think the biggest signing of the summer just happened. Klopp signing extension. Just at Liverpool when people thought he could leave in two more years. He's now signed another 2 more years on top of that. So he's there for the next 4. To be honest, I was like kind of 50-50 if he would. I didn't think he was going to, because he was set on retire. Not, I would say retire, but he said retiring and taking a break after 2 years. So to see him commit to another 2, I am well pleased. Considering some of the comments coming out recently that once he left, Liverpool could be going back to the way things were. So if that is true to be, then we've got 4 more years of Klopp. So we'll see what happens. When are you two surprised, shocked, or saw it coming?
I think for me, I don't see why he would have left. I didn't see the reason why he'd leave. I think it's probably, like you say, the best signing from your perspective. Again, when you look at it realistically, if he did leave, who comes in to replace him? So yeah, I believe you've done good by securing him for another 2 years.
Yeah, pretty much exactly the same as that. Like, obviously, we get that Liverpool's going to be looking at a rebuild, especially in the next 2 years anyway. So to know that Klopp's just going to be at the helm for another rebuild just obviously should breathe life. As you said, it's like the best signing you've had. Just goes to show how riding high Liverpool and you as fans all are at the minute. I think, like, to announce that now when you're in a title race, just won your first leg of the Champions League semi-final, into the final of the FA Cup as well, already winning the League Cup. Yeah, to announce it now, I was thinking, why not the summer? But there you go. It is just literally confidence at the minute. Like,
Do you think it will make a factor in the running in all the competition, not the Premier League? Do you think it will affect, say, City in the next game, knowing that Klopp's hanging around, etc.? Do you think it'll be a
no. And that's where I think the difference is between you two. Like, you hear a lot of other fans all talking crap about each other, and most of it is banter. But there's always like 2 clubs that don't do it, apart from you, which you just like to stir the pot. It's not really banter. It. I think they concentrate on their game. You concentrate on your game. Like, you are the best of the best, but I feel like you're still 2 completely different structures. And I believe you're great in your own rights. So for me, I don't think, let's face it, I don't think Man City or Pep is sat there looking over their shoulder. I think it's more down to the fact that you both have your own game plan and you're just going to carry on going about your business.
okay? Bear with me 2 seconds. Change that background quickly. Doing it in...
I think it'll be a confidence boost as well, though, for the players going into this end game of the season. Because I think it will give them just that little bit more confidence going into it now that the manager's, he's prepared to stick around.
Yeah. 100%, 100%. I think that's what's going for. I think it'd be a boost for us and for the players going to the final stretch, knowing he's going to stick around. And I think it's a positive for our long run, because the likes of Mana and Salah will come the next 2 years, gone past. I could have said that about Ronaldo, but they would come to the end of the career, so he'll be seeing through the next phase, pretty much, to a certain extent, of what's coming in and what he's going to build. I know, because obviously Gerrard was tipped to take over if and when Klopp left in 2 years' time. So I think that's a positive for Liverpool, anyway, for me and the club supporters. And
Well, but it's not just Liverpool, though, is it? It's the Premier League, I think, as a standard. Like, you let's face it, you've given Man City a run for their money for at least the last few years. I know last season, injury ridden, etc.
1 second, Gilly, I'll answer your question.
I think it's more to the point that you've still been that force of reckoning that could always spoil City's joy of doing what you're on par to maybe achieving in the quadruple if you do it.
No, so Gilly, the season's not over. There's still Champions League left, the FA Cup final left, and there's, for most, 5 games in the league left. So it's coming close to an end. It's not ended yet, but it's coming close to an end.
It'll be done before the end of next month.
But it'll end, I think, last game's at the middle of May, if I'm right. Around about the 18th of May. I think it is the last game of the season, around then. No, 21st of May. I think it is, actually. 21st, 22nd of May. It's the last league game, Gilly. So, and then it'll be just the other finals, etc., to take place before and after that happens. So we move on to the weekend fixtures. Not fixtures just gone past, and there are some big impacts for top and bottom for the league. And start with Rick, your boys on a roll. 2 big games, 2 big wins.
Yeah, no, good results. I get that, but the way I'm now looking at it is them 3 bad results before. Now, obviously, I'm thinking, yes, we're back in the top 4 race to get Champions League football again, and etc. etc. But after seeing even Chelsea fall off, if we had beaten them 3 teams, do you know where we would be right now?
Yeah, you'd be pretty much secure.
3 points ahead of Chelsea right now.
Wow.
That's the point. Like, I get that he had to turn it around, and beating Chelsea was a statement. Even though Chelsea fans are still telling me, look, we played the wrong team. Tuchel's decisions on his starting lineup were wrong.
We'll come to that, Gilly.
And then we followed on by beating the worst Man United side I've probably ever seen in my life. And yes, once again, another error where that is the worst Man United side. But I watched the game, and then I re-watched the game, and Arsenal weren't great either, if I'm going to be honest. It was a scrappy game, and decisions made during the game, like Fernandes taking the penalty and not Ronaldo. It's one of them. But no, yeah, a good result, and took us back into the top 4, and awaiting on Spurs to obviously play their game against Brentford in the last game of that day. But no, yeah, a good result, but just the points that it just goes to show how far we are off. Because if we win the games that we were betting on winning, then we'd actually be talking of secure, and then we could be talking about Arsenal overachieving this season.
Okay.
Because as far as I'm concerned, spending 150 last summer, that should have put us into that top 4 race regardless. I know a lot of other teams didn't, and they all strengthened, and it did make it still look like a slim chance. But still, we should have been in the race that we are in at the minute, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Nay, any points of view for you? What's from that side of it?
From a neutral, I think Arsenal surprised. I wouldn't say surprised me, but I didn't expect Arsenal to get as many points as they did in the last couple of games. So credit to them where it's due. I do. Obviously, their run of bad results, things would have been a lot different from now if they'd have picked up some of them points. But yeah, again, there's just a big golfing class between the top 2 and then the next pack in the table. But I think out of that, the next pack down, I think Arsenal probably got the better side, if I'm being honest, barring Chelsea. But the rest of them, I think Arsenal got a decent side that I reckon they can do well next season if they get the right transfers in.
So we're now 5 games on from when I last asked you for a prediction for that finisher for that top 4th spot. Have you both changed from Tottenham now?
I don't think I've changed from a simple reason being, I think the big game, and I think you said it, Rick, is that shit Hart Lane. That game becomes like.
But that's in 3 games. That's our 3rd game from now. And what I'm thinking is they've still got to play you.
Yeah.
Before.
If I'm honest right now, I'm thinking Chelsea might come into this. Because they're dropping off. And that gap between Arsenal and Chelsea isn't big anymore.
That's 6 points, isn't it? That is the gap. 6 points.
6 points. It isn't big anymore. It's not like it was. So there's a bit of me that says, Chelsea are going to come. So if I say, like you just said, Rick, do you change your mind? It might be the case that Arsenal finish 3rd.
No. I still think Chelsea are safe.
It just depends. I think if I'm going to go with what I've got now, I'm gonna slip by my guns. The only reason I'm gonna slip by my guns is that, and I think Rick, you said it when you first started talking, is the big games Arsenal showed up, but now they've got these other games. It's the ones where they're being falling short a little bit or not scoring and getting the result what people expect them to get. So if it's those kinds of games that they've been faltering on recently, and it's the big games they've been winning, then I think the door's always going to be open, because looking at the last few weeks' results, even including Man United in it, in my opinion, nobody's wanted it because they've all been faltering. When one slips up, the other's got a door open, then they go and slip up. Or they can let Man United in and they go fuck up. So it's a case of who wants it more, who's going to come out on top of that and saying, right, we've really got to fight now, we've really got to pull out these results and rolls their sleeves up, etc. So I don't think who they're playing at this point counts. I think it's about who wants it more. Because as much as I say Man United are out of it with the results they had, they've only got 3 games left. So I don't see them pulling this back. And with Arsenal and Tottenham having 2 games in hand on both of them, and if they won both of them, Man United are well away from the thing. So it is a 2-horse race, in my opinion, between Tottenham and Arsenal.
Yeah, I said last week Man United were out after they played your boys. That was my prediction before we even played them. So it's
how many games are left?
5 games for everyone else, only 3 for United.
So United can't even cannot reach Chelsea.
No.
Physically impossible.
No.
I said it was out of Arsenal and Tottenham.
Yeah.
Has that game been scheduled in yet, Rick? I heard it was like.
Yeah. It's so we play West Ham this Sunday.
Yeah.
We play Leeds the Sunday after, and then we play Tottenham midweek. I think it's a Thursday night game before we then travel. I think it's Newcastle.
See, I think okay, take away the Tottenham game, which we always know is going to be a big one, right? Because we knew leading up to this, the way it's been going, that Tottenham game was always going to be big. West Ham coming off back of Europe defeat, still a tough game, but will they be tired from playing? You know, they were at home, so they didn't travel, so shouldn't be too bad. But again, tough game. But their eggs, in my opinion, are all in that Europa League now. You know, their eggs are in that basket.
But that's the thing. This weekend, Arsenal and Tottenham are playing two teams that have literally just played only last night. We played West Ham, who have literally come off of losing to Frankfurt with no defence whatsoever, and that was clear to see. And obviously, Roma drew with Leicester, and they've got Tottenham. So for me, they're going to be tired if you're going to play anyone from them games.
Yeah. And I don't think Leeds will be an easy game because they're still kind of in that bottom relegation battle. And I think they need 3 more points, and I think they're safe. Don't get me wrong. I think 3 more points and they'll be out of it. But with them being in that battle at the moment, and if they don't win this weekend and etc., and they're still looking for those 3 points, that could be a potential tough game.
Leeds haven't got great running, have they? This weekend they've got Man City, then they've got Arsenal, and then I believe they've got someone else. I think it might be Chelsea.
Well, that's a tough running.
And that's what I mean. That's their next 3 games. So
Leeds' running is Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford.
Okay. Yeah, nah. Sorry, Leeds.
So they'll be looking at the last 2 games realistically, right? They'll be looking at the last 2 games.
With Brentford starting to look a little bit more revitalised right now.
Yeah, but I think the perspective I'm looking at it from is the perspective I'm looking at is that Brentford safe, Brighton safe, not going to do much. Yes, league position pays a bit more money. Are they going to go do much more better? Are they going to try out some new players, fringe players that need their 25, like some clubs do, to get them their medals, etc., or whatever they need to do to get recognised as a player. So will they be trying out new things and new players because league position didn't be much of a thing? I'm taking that into my factor, into the scenario that Brentford is safe. Are they going to give some people a chance that haven't been getting a look in because they've got to decide whether they're going to keep him in the summer or not? So I think going into the last 2 games, and Leeds are going there. If I'm Leeds, I'm feeling a bit happier, only for a simple reason. They're safer clubs. They're not fighting for anything. And it's a case of they may, I'm not saying they will, but they may, try out new players. We've seen it before in previous seasons when Man United won the league and they're playing someone else and you're saying, oh, well, Man United should beat them. But Man United play the players that need to get to 17 games to get a winner's medal, for instance. So to play those players for the last 2 or 3 games to get them up to their 17 games. So I think that will have a factor to a certain extent. That's my belief for those last 2 games. The other 3 games, I think, yes, tough. City are not gonna. Again, as I said, I don't see City faltering. Even though on Sky Sports, I can't remember who said it. A commentator said, "Mark my words, this weekend is when City draw against Leeds." That's a slip up. I personally don't see it, but it's football, so anything's possible. Anything's possible in football.
Each to their own.
Kind of thing. So that's my personal opinion on it. Anyway, Nay, what are you thinking?
I think Ellen Road is a tough place to go. Even though Leeds are where they are at the moment in time, just the fans that it won't be an easy ride. And obviously, Leeds have got things to play for. City, I've got things to play for. There's potential for a banana skin there for City. But again, a golfing class shouldn't happen, but it's football, isn't it? So it could happen.
Going back to Rick's earlier question, would you change your prediction on what you said? Top 4 finish with Arsenal not qualifying.
And the reason I'm asking now is because after the points that I thought we were going to lose after the run this is
the thing, yeah, because
they play less.
When I looked at the fixtures for Arsenal, the points that the games I didn't think they would win, they won. But the thing with Arsenal is
Gilly, I haven't forgot about you. I'll come back to your question in a
they
minute.
will probably go down to wherever and lose. You know what I mean? It's
Oh yeah, our record's not great at White Hart though.
yeah.
It is
I'm,
what
I'm,
it is.
I'm sticking with my guns. I still reckon Tottenham finish above Arsenal.
I'm still thinking by the time we played in North London derby, Tottenham are 5 points behind.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a prediction.
Call it what it is.
I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm still going to say Tottenham finish for fourth. I just got a feeling Arsenal will mess up somewhere.
Yeah, we will against Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my guns. Tottenham will finish above Arsenal.
Fair enough. So obviously looking at that from the top, we look at the bottom, some big results in the bottom. Everton fell into the bottom three. So Gilly, going back to your question, whether Everton make relegation right, Everton are in the relegation now.
Yeah, for a big win for Burnley.
It was a mass, and I think I called it a draw. I think Rick, you said they were losing last week.
No, yeah, I put a Wolves win.
Yeah,
Burnley Wolves is the only result I actually got wrong last week.
and no, I can't remember what you. I don't what you said. No, I don't know what you said.
I predicted Burnley to win, didn't
I? But the fact is that was a result and a half for Burnley. And
I also think the game of the day, of the weekend, is Burnley again away to Watford. That is a massive, massive game at the bottom of that table.
so was that Burnley got this weekend?
Yeah, Burnley away to Watford.
So who Everton got?
Everton have got Chelsea on Sunday at home.
Yeah, at home to Chelsea.
Wow. So if Burnley won that this week,
hosts his old club manager hasn't.
so if Burnley won this weekend, and Everton didn't, the point's not good enough for Everton. They could be in some serious trouble going into the last few games.
Everton still have a game in hand.
Okay. But about winning them, but so okay, Watford, I think do we all agree that Watford and Norwich are down?
Wow. Yeah.
No?
I'd say so.
So
Yeah,
if I was going to put you both on the spot,
Norwich have been gone for a long while.
What happens if Watford turn up on Saturday and
but isn't the gulf massive, Rick, on the table? I can't see it clearly on my screen here, but isn't the gulf massive between the two, between Watford and Burnley?
Watford are on 22 points with 33 games played. Everton are then above them on 29 points. And then Burnley's on 31. So there's a massive gap between.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if Watford end up causing Burnley's relegation survival upset, that's more to the point. I'm not saying Watford getting out of it.
Okay.
A Burnley win puts them level on points with Leeds as well.
So if I was going to say, if I'm going to say Norwich and Watford are gone, if I'm going to call you out, Rick, first, who takes the last spot as it stands now, in your opinion, at the end of the season?
I'm probably going to have to go with
Everton. Did you say, Rick?
Let's go Leeds.
Leeds. Oh, didn't see that one coming. So you're saying Leeds take the last spot? Nutty?
Hang on a minute. Actually, Everton's last run-in is just as bad.
Everton's run-in is tough, but I'm just looking at Burnley's as well. Obviously, they got Watford on Saturday. Then they got Aston Villa at home, Tottenham away, Aston Villa away again.
But the difference I feel is Burnley have got like that tight-knit connection together as a team, whereas as we're aware, Everton have issues on and off the pitch, and
this is what I've been saying for the last few weeks. This is the normal for Burnley. they do this every single season. They've got that fight in them. You can see it in them. Everton, I mean, they looked a lot better the weekend against Liverpool. But I just don't see. I think Everton are done. I think Everton go with them.
I agree. I think Everton done. I think once you're in that bottom three at
I
this
just
stage
don't
of the
see
season,
it. I just don't see the fight in them. I don't see where the goals are going to come from. You've got they're playing Chelsea, who are capable of scoring goals. Leicester are capable of scoring goals.
They literally only have one game plan, and that's to get it to Gordon, who, by the
Yeah.
way, is going to be a fucking superstar one day. Mark my words.
yeah, he looked good against Liverpool. Got to say,
He is their only outlet, and in that hope, you release him and hope that he either scores himself or he gives a chance on a platter to Richarlison.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to make a bold prediction. The bottom three is how it stands, and Burnley finish above Leeds. That's how I see the season finishing.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I think I agree. I think at this stage in the season, and I think Rick will call me out on this because I said it about Newcastle. I said it really early about Newcastle. Oh, they're screwed. They're going to go down. It'd be funny. But I think this late in the season, being in that bottom half, I think you got to have some strong characters in your team.
Call a relegation at Christmas. That's all I'm going to say.
It's at this stage of the season, being in that bottom three, you got to have some real leaders, some real state of mind and mentality to get out there. I just don't think Everton have got it. And personally, you know what? I'll even go as far as saying, if Big Sam was in there, I'd probably give Everton more of a chance than Lampard. I don't think Lampard's got it in him to take them out. You might disagree with what I'm saying here. I'm just saying, if it was Big Sam, I might have been saying, you know what, Everton got a bit of a chance. Because Sam's been there, he's done it.
Right. When I look at Frank Lampard, he took Derby, what was it, from 4th to 4th, and then Chelsea from 3rd to 4th. You needed someone that understood the grit and fight that is needed in the strategy to survive a relegation battle. And yeah, no, you got it spot on. Lampard's just not.
He's not experienced enough, is he? Really?
No, any other manager, even if it was Sean Dyche and said, "Right, Lampard go now," and bring Dyche right now, I'd probably give them more of a chance. And the Dyche, like saying, you got a chance, but I just don't think Lampard has the. I'm not going to say credentials, that's a bit hard. I just don't think he has the experience or the know-how or how to get them out of this scenario. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think he has. So we'll see what happens with that, with the big games coming over. We'll go over the weekend games in a bit. Move over to midweek. And we had the Champions League. What a game. Did you guys watch it? Man City, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That was a game. That was for any neutral, for anybody, that was an amazing game.
Well, the best thing about it is away goals don't count this year, do they? So it's not exactly like Real Madrid have got a possibility of having 6 away goals.
Yeah.
So that has one. But the spectacle of the game, and I would also like to add, watching that game, did you see how special the goals actually had to be for Real Madrid to score? Like that first one from Benzema.
Benzema's out this fucking world. That guy is fucking.
That first one was like, I thought the City defender had him. I was like, well done. You got tight knit to it. Nah, just one little toe, man. And he pokes it round so effortlessly. And then, what's his name?
Vinicius Junior.
Vinicius. The way that he spun Fernandinho, man. Oh, did you see Klopp's face? Not Klopp. Did you see Pep's face when he spun him? it must have been like Pep was saying to him before the game, I know you're playing right back, but don't get too close to him because he will spin you. And the way that Pep looked when he did spin him and then went on to score, Pep looked pissed. But then that's what happens when you don't have a replacement for a structure that you can only work with. Like he literally, I feel like he stuck Fernandinho in there and expected Kyle Walker performance. And we all know Fernandinho, he doesn't even have the legs to do it in midfield anymore, let alone do what Kyle Walker does at right back. Because I believe if Kyle Walker plays, he catches him. Hands down, and that's what I believe. Even if he did nut him as well and skip past him, I believe Kyle Walker catches him. But no, and does anyone else feel that Man City probably should have won that by 8?
Oh yeah, I think Man City had chance. I think both teams have a chance to put more in, but I think Man City had a double what that they could have gone with. And I think if I'm Ancelotti going second leg, I need to make sure I shore up that defense because Rauman's defense looked shocking, like absolutely shocking. I get they're top of their league, etc. And I'm thinking, with a defense like that, if that league's fucking really poor.
I think it was the midfield, if I'm going to be honest. Weren't they missing? What's his name? Their DM. I've forgotten what his name is now.
No, Tony Kroos was playing.
No, I know. Casemiro.
Oh, Casemiro. Okay.
Yeah, he weren't playing, and I think he would have given a little bit more grit to that Madrid midfield to stop the likes of Foden and that lot just running the show, which is what they were doing. And Mahrez, granted, I think he probably should have had 2 or 3 goals under his belt in that 90 minutes. But I keep telling everyone about this player, and I believe if he was English, Spanish, Italian, he'd be like the next big thing. But no one talks about him. And it actually annoys me because this guy is world class.
Mm-hmm. Anything to add, Nutty?
Just from a neutral perspective, it was one hell of a game. And I think the second leg is just going to be even better, if I'm honest.
One question: did you turn off your own game to watch it?
Had it on the phone as well as I weren't turning Fulham off to watch that. Not a chance.
Bet you
wish I had, but I didn't. But yeah, from a neutral perspective, it was one hell of a game. The second leg is going to be unreal, I think.
And Madrid, that whole thing about Madrid shoring up their defence, I don't even think they know how to stop a Man City attack, if I'm honest. Man City are going there.
Let's be honest. Is there a team out there in the world right now that is capable of shutting out Man City's defence? Attack, sorry. They will rip through any team without a shadow of a doubt.
Even when they have dropped points, I feel like it's them that's not been at the races, not the other team have literally outsmarted City. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, one hell of a game, and I'm excited for the second leg.
I am. As a neutral for that game, I'm
really excited for
that second leg. Really, really excited for that second leg, I've got to say.
It's one of those ones as well where even though you can't put, it's not like Liverpool Villarreal, you could pretty much say Liverpool will go through. This one, you just couldn't call it. You just couldn't predict it.
So did you, talking about the Liverpool game, did any of you guys watch Talk Sport? Or listen to Talk? So I think the player's name is, is it Jason Cundy?
Oh, yeah.
Is he the one that was going on about?
Slated. He got slated on that show.
He basically done the talk show on Thursday morning, and he said, basically, his exact words were this, I kept them, he said, Villarreal are a disgrace. If that was UEFA looking at that, saying that's the team in the UEFA Champions League semi-final, they will be massively concerned. He goes, Liverpool did not get out of second gear, and that team turned up defeated even before a ball was kicked. He goes, I would be ashamed if that was my team going out in a UEFA League Champions League semi-final playing the way they did.
Now, who said
You're playing against one of the best teams in the world.
Jason Cundy.
And yes, they didn't get into your half, if I remember rightly, and I think it was something like 60% possession. Thiago running the show. Look, mate, I don't think he's the only person that has said it or thought it though. I think it was a case that someone decided that they were just going to shoot the messenger. In my eyes, everyone else has thought it, but obviously we said you can't dispute what Emery has done with the teams that he's had within Europe competitions. Now, even I believe Arsenal, it wasn't the right fit. We are not the right team to be playing his type of strategy and formations and what's the word, protagonistic or however you pronounce it. He's not that type of manager. He's not one to be on the front foot, but he can nullify your attack if he has a team that will listen and do exactly what he says. And that's what he's had. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they were a disgrace was it their home game against Bayern Munich? I thought they played Bayern Munich off the park that game, if I'm honest.
No, he was talking specifically about the Wednesday night's game.
Yeah, but you're playing against Liverpool, for Christ's sake.
How can you make that kind of comment again coming to Anfield?
It was all over Talk Sport right now. It's all over the thing. I found it literally about
an hour and a half ago. Talk Sport are idiots anyway. They slate everyone else for doing exactly the same job that they
go through all the European teams that have been in the Champions League. Is there a side in there, apart from probably Man City, that would come to Anfield and play decent, or look decent? There's not. I wouldn't put any of them in there, apart from Man City, maybe Real Madrid.
Have Liverpool not played better teams at Anfield who have gone and had exactly the same result there?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. It's not me. It's literally a statement that I was reading out from ex-pro, basically after what happened on Wednesday, and he went live with it.
What was his name?
Hang on a minute. I'll get it up. I will actually get it up. I'm sure it's Jason Cundy. I'm positive it's Jason Cundy. It is. Bear me 2 seconds. It is literally all over. It was on Twitter. I will find it, and I'll try to play it on stream so you can actually hear his actual words.
Oh yeah, Jason Cundy.
And to tell you the truth, I think Liverpool could have, like I said about City, I think you guys could have won by even more goals than just the 2-0. So that just goes to prove that they did something by nullifying your chances, even
That's
if you
what
did.
I said. It was 0-0 at half time. It was 0-0 at half time.
It's once again, it's just an opinion, and then people want to jump on someone because they made. I wouldn't say that they're a disgrace. At the end of the day, it's a cup competition. You play it game by game, and obviously on the day they were the better team. As I said, I did watch them play against Bayern Munich, and I actually thought, you know what, you deserve that. Fair play to you.
I've just read what he's put.
Yeah, read it
what
out.
he said. I don't know what I've just watched, but Villarreal are a disgrace. That is a disgrace. UEFA must be watching that and thinking, we are in big trouble if that's what's getting to the semi-final and facing English teams. Liverpool did not get out of second gear. It was shocking, disgraceful. Liverpool are brilliant, but that was a disgrace to the Champions League. There are players who haven't even broken a sweat in a Champions League semi-final. There's only one team that can do anything to Liverpool right now, and that's Man City. Maybe Chelsea in a one-off. They are streets ahead. Villarreal were beaten before the first whistle went. A disgraceful display.
There you go.
Yeah, a bit, once again, over-exaggeration, but TalkSport love that.
I mean, did anyone expect Villarreal to come there and really get the win? No one.
I think you'll find a very low percentage possibly, and I'll say Villarreal fans, yes. All right?
To be honest, I said at Anfield, there ain't many teams that are going to come there and outplay you or win. There's not many teams. I think the second leg at Villarreal will be a different story. I think it'll be a lot tougher for you out
Yes, I agree.
there.
Yeah, but the issue I have is how everyone's first states how well Villarreal have done, but then go on to talk about just how much better Liverpool are, and then expect Villarreal to pull out
Yeah,
the underdog.
I see what you're saying, Rick.
Just don't make sense to me.
No, and I think he says it in his own statement. Liverpool are one of the greatest teams, but so what did you? And I think no, you said it. What did you expect them to do then? What would you expecting from them?
Doesn't make no sense.
That's like saying like Forest Green Rovers are like the best team in League Two at the moment, but expecting them to go to Anfield and looking good, make Liverpool like, you know, it's just stupid, man. But again, this is difference in class in the Bundesliga to Premier League. It just shows the standards, you know.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think Premier League alone is mile ahead of any other league. Right
La
now.
Liga as well. Like Villarreal playing La Liga again. I believe you take out Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. It's anyone's game in the rest of that league, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree with you.
It's like the Scottish League. It's, you know, Celtic, Rangers, and then anyone's game.
Yeah.
Bundesliga, Munich, Dortmund.
Maybe, and then you don't know. Every team changes on that one.
Again, you can't pinpoint the next lot of teams.
You're right. You can't.
But to
don't
say
get me wrong, do I believe
was
that
disgrace? Like, not being funny, we're Fulham a disgrace when we got to the Europa League final. When we done it, you know, we didn't put in good performances week in, week out in that league. You know, we just got out of the group stage. But again, we went to places like Juventus, Roma, Shakhtar Donetsk, Hamburg, Wolfsburg.
At the end of the day, Villarreal have had to play who they've had to play. They've confined to the rules the same as everyone else, and they've got to where they've got to because guess what? They've beaten everyone that they've played against before this game. So
I think Villarreal deserve credit for keeping the scoreline down to 2-0.
No. It's not even credit. Like a 2-0 win, okay, to tell you the truth, ask any manager. That's going to be hard to overturn, regardless away goals, home goals, whatever it is. A 2-0 deficit is bad for anything. I'm still looking at the Man City Real Madrid, which is only 4-3, and I'm sitting there thinking, I still see Man City going to the Bernabeu and scoring more goals. Do I see Real Madrid scoring more as well? Yes. But going there with that 1-goal lead is still better than going there on level par. And to tell you the truth, no, Villarreal got outplayed by Liverpool. But then find me one person, literally find me one person that did not think Liverpool were going to outplay Villarreal. Please find me one fan, because I guarantee you there isn't many out there. And even Villarreal, I believe, their fans would have sat there going, I so hope we win. And I hope we pull out a performance. We've done so well to get to this point. Let's carry it on. But in the back of their heads, they're still sitting there thinking exactly what the rest of us are thinking. This is Liverpool.
And I'm thinking in my head, though, a former pro player, is saying that surely he must really. I know if we're not in pros, etc., this and that and the other, and we can see common sense in it. But a pro player goes out, which a show that goes out to millions can come.
I'm not even a pro
that.
player, and I can tell you what he said was ludicrous.
I didn't get the statement. I saw it and I sat there going, "How can you even call that?" And I saw it about 2 hours ago, and I'm thinking, "Damn, like you're making a massive statement here and saying something."
So what was it before? Are Villarreal good, or are you going to make a statement now towards Bayern Munich and say you're an absolute disgrace because you got knocked out by this disgrace?
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of it, and I haven't read all the comments on it.
Nothing's going to come out of it. It's just TalkSport being TalkSport.
So move on to the next game, which was, I didn't watch it, but I know Nutty you did. I'm assuming Rick, you probably did as well. The Man United Chelsea game on Thursday night.
Are we not talking about the Okay, no, don't know. Yeah, that was great. I think Chelsea, like,
I didn't watch it, so I can't comment on it.
Chelsea had control, but couldn't finish a single goddamn chance if it fell on a plate to them. And then once again, we find out that the oldest, most clinical player in the Premier League, in Ronaldo, will finish anything if you give him that one chance. And Chelsea gave him that one chance, and let's have it. He finished that really well. That was a good finish. But I see what you mean from earlier, that Chelsea are dropping points, and that's why I'm even more disappointed in my team when it comes down to it, because could have been so much different, and Chelsea need to start bouncing back. Like, before, all I heard was, but we're still in Europe and we're fighting on all fronts at the minute. Well, guess what? You're not fighting on any fucking front at the minute. You're back to one game a week as well, and you're not even competing for that right now.
Half of Chelsea's squad look like they're already on the beach. That's how they look at the moment.
Is that how it looked?
Yeah.
That's how it looks for them. Well, Man United have been on the beach all goddamn season.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I ain't really got much to say on them
These
teams.
two
To be honest.
teams are what piss me off the most. I can't lie. Like, Man United finishing second last year, and all I got was crap. Like, yep, now we're buying Sancho, we're getting Ronaldo, we finished second, we're going to win the league. And then Chelsea, we're champions of Europe, and now we've got the best informed striker in the world. And you both have done what? But you both, all your fans cuss off my team being the banter club. But when it comes to the end of the season and you look at that table and you notice that you're either below us or only a few points ahead of us, who the hell are you cussing? You should have been focusing more on your own team by the looks of it. Because if we're the banter club and you're technically, like we just said, 6 points only ahead of Banter FC, and Man United are however many points now behind Banter FC, what does that make you?
Yeah.
These two clubs are just, as Nutty said, Chelsea looked like they were on the beach. I think they're just waiting for the FA Cup final to say, do you know what? We actually won something this year. Fuck it. Which is fair play. The FA Cup's holds something special to me. I'm not sure about you two, but it is what it is. And Man United, as we faced it, like everyone says, that they're losing to everyone at the minute, and yet Tottenham and Chelsea still didn't beat them. I don't actually think Chelsea have beaten Man United this season, have they?
Don't know. I don't know what the other result was, to be fair, Rick. But okay, that was that result. And we leave the final two fixtures that of the final few fixtures of the week midweek. First, West Ham and Frankfurt. I watched that game. Was a good game. I think West Ham were a bit too open, but boy, I wish Bowen's overhead kick went in. I wish Bowen's overhead kick, that would have been goal of the season had he finished that off. It was incredible. It hit the bar, and I was like, "Oh my god, that would have been a
Yeah,
goal."
it was amazing. But you could tell that they're having to play fullbacks in their centre half. Like, their chances, Frankfurt's chances, like even the first goal, they're backing off. You're inside your 18-yard box.
Yeah.
Why are you backing off? But then at the same time, I sit there and I think to myself sometimes, like, if their goalkeeper just used his mouth, I feel like, a little bit more and took charge of them, I don't think they would have conceded the goals that they did. Because I still think Frankfurt weren't great, if I'm honest. Second half, I think they came into it, but English teams play so many more games than any other league in the world, so it's I think it's starting to take its toll, and especially as we said with their injuries, it's madness how they're still fighting as well as they are. They played well against Chelsea, and I do believe they played well against Frankfurt. It's just the results don't see.
I think West
The
Ham will turn it
performance.
around. I think they'll pull it off in Frankfurt. Got confidence in them.
Is there actually any news on their centre halves?
No, I know Zuma was the first one to come back, but I think he got injured as well playing last night. So I'm not too sure.
Don't know why I care. We're playing them this weekend.
Yeah, so again, that's it. I think it's good. I
Have
think
another
it's
week off. Have another week off.
I think the positive for you, I think they're carrying through injuries, and I think with the game being next week, I think
No, but that's why I said that's why I believe Arsenal and Tottenham, like this week especially, both teams are playing two teams that have just had to play semi-finals, bearing in mind first legs.
yeah,
With Leicester getting a draw, they're still in that tie, and as 2-1, your West Ham are still in their tie. I don't believe either one of them are thinking we've lost this in the next game.
Yeah.
So for me, I see them both playing a half week inside, but as I'm well aware, they did that last week against Chelsea, and I believe West Ham should have won that game, if I'm honest. But it is what it is. Yesterday, I believe West Ham probably deserved a draw out of that at least. But like you said, when you've got the injuries in your core of your team, it gets peak, and
indeed,
they're suffering, like you said. But no, it was a good game for them.
Yeah, and obviously I didn't see the other two games, but I know Rangers lost 1-0, and Leicester drew 1-1. But I couldn't say I didn't watch any of them to understand what the performances were. But like you just said,
Leicester, I think the Leicester and Roma game was actually a really good game. It was just really fast paced. Like Mourinho, obviously, with his time in the Premier League, he knows what Premier League teams are going to bring when they come. And I think he just set them up so well. And having the couple of players that he has, I think Roma played well. And that's what I mean. That once again, that was a good game for a neutral to watch. And it leaves it wide open for the second leg.
And I said I actually do want to see a West Ham Rangers final. I'd love to see a West Ham Rangers final. I think that'd be amazing. I just think Rangers got a match.
I'd like to see it just the Rangers, but if I want a good spectacle, I think Leipzig versus West Ham is going to give you a better game of football.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I just think from I guess British point.
British point of view, yeah. But we say it every time, having them all English finals all this time, it shows you where the dominance really is.
Yeah.
And it's not always been Man City, Liverpool. You've had your Chelsea, your Man United. Tottenham made it the other year. Arsenal made it the other year. It's one of them. It's just good to see us doing so well in these, what we call the biggest competitions of club football.
Indeed. I'll come back to you now, Natty, before we go to this weekend fixtures. Fight night. How was fight night?
The atmosphere was brilliant. Fights. I think a poor undercard, if I'm honest.
That fight though, with I can't remember what his name was, that little guy, and that was a brilliant
Nick Ball
fight.
and Isaac Lowe. That was the best fight.
That was a quality fight.
That was a fight. That for me, that was the fight of the night. Unbelievable fight. The main event, the ring walks were like holy shit. That's all I can say to that. It was insane. The fight itself, I think, was very slow, and the only really real talking point really was the uppercut.
Yeah, I thought the fight was poor. I thought the fight was really poor. Minus the uppercut, I didn't think much of the fight.
No. Obviously, Dylan White's made his claims that the uppercut didn't really do nothing to him. It was the push apparently that put him on the canvas. But I don't believe that myself.
When he stood up, was that still the push that was making him wobble all over the place?
I mean, I'm a bit wow. Like I don't know,
all under the canvas.
Just take your loss, sort of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Just say, you lost to the better man.
Yeah.
That's
so.
Dylan White
So
didn't have a
last
game
week
plan.
when I said Fury for the knockout round 5, and you all went, but I think you're not giving enough credit to Wilder. And then I started asking you guys questions, and White, and you guys are like, nah, but he is big, and look what happened. I was right again. I'm not even
As-
really that big on boxing, but I called it, and it happened again.
White is capable of a fight. You know, he's not no idiot.
I don't think he had a
But
game
Yeah,
plan.
but
Though.
this is
like I
Tyson
said last week,
Fury.
boxing IQ. There ain't no one out there that matches Fury. There's not a heavyweight out there at the moment that can beat Fury with his ring IQ.
But did you
Did you
think?
hear what he said after?
What's that?
The only way he fights again is if it's a unification.
Yeah.
It's Did you feel, Nutty, from watching it over in Ubik as well, that White had no game plan? Like he didn't, he didn't seem to. Like he just threw. I think there was about 4 wild punches that went miles wide, and he was hoping one would connect. And that's not how
Yeah.
White
I think
normally
he was
fights.
actually more waiting for Fury to mess up, and like someone told him there's going to be an opening, wait for the opening, but someone forgot to tell him don't get punched in your face before that opening comes. And that's all he did. It was like you said, he was fighting at arm's length, like and then yeah.
You think as well, Fury also changed his style from how he usually fights. I think he switched to southpaw or whatever it was, you know, from the offset, and that I think again threw White off a little bit. But yeah, it was just a one-sided affair really, and it was just a case of when, I thought.
Yeah, and then I watched it.
I agree with Magic. I don't think White had much of a game plan.
I thought
apart
how
from trying
quiet
to
he
turn it into
was.
the brawl.
I thought because how quiet he'd been all the way in the build-up to the fight, he was going to be bringing his A game because he'd been quiet. That's not normally White. He's normally mouthing it off, giving it the large and everything else. But he'd been quiet. He'd not been saying anything. He looked pretty decent. But he just walked in that ring, and then once the bell rang, it looked like he didn't. I don't know. He was going for the stomach, but I don't go why. Because having no fucking, you weren't even getting him right. I know you wanted to drop his hands by hitting him in the stomach, but you weren't going to make an impact because you were not even catching him properly, but you were reaching to try to hit the stomach. You know, like you're reaching to hit his face. You weren't even going to make an impact. So, I don't know. But again, we don't, I don't
it was a very, very good night.
Again.
Good night, good experience, but yeah, that's about all I could really say on it. Apart from the Nick Ball Isaac low fight, the rest of it was just average. I've seen bigger and better fights at the bingo hall.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't the greatest fight. And I said, I don't think we'll see Fury fight again.
You need to stop flipping grannies now.
Uh-huh.
I told you need to stop flipping grannies.
The old ones are the best. Got the most experience.
If you saw the picture he sent me the other day with grannies in the back seat.
Yeah. Let's stick to the sports. Jesus, man.
So, Rick, down to you now. What's up for this weekend? What we're looking forward to this weekend?
So this Saturday.
Hey, Queen. Hey, Lady Snipes. How are you?
It's your boys that kick us off against your away to Newcastle.
Yeah.
But actually, before we actually get into this, Nutty, do we remember a bold prediction made last week that I've been waiting for him to bring it up? Like, at least like maybe okay, I got it wrong, guys. I called Norwich to beat Newcastle last week because for some reason Magic have this agenda against Newcastle. Don't know why, but ever since this whole takeover thing, Magic has started to sweat.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think in 5 years Newcastle fucking all of us. I think in 5 years' time Newcastle are going to be fucking steamrolling us.
5 years.
In the next 5 years.
But you called Norwich to beat Newcastle last week.
Yeah, I did. Prediction, innit? Just like you called Wolves beat Burnley. You know, it's a prediction.
That was probably a more debatable subject, if I'm going to be honest. But okay, but we'll go into it. So yeah, predictions for Newcastle Liverpool.
I'm sticking by my boys. Way win.
I've gone 2-0. Yeah, 2-0 Newcastle.
2-0 Newcastle.
What?
I'm joking. 2-0 Liverpool.
Nutty.
Oh. I'm gonna go Liverpool win, but it's gonna be tight. 2-1.
Okay. Queen has said 2-1. I knew you were going to say that, Queen. I knew it. Queen Reaper's on the chat, by the way, guys. She's a Man United supporter.
The Queen.
So she's always on my case.
Game is followed with Aston Villa will host Norwich.
So this, you're gonna call me a dickhead again for this, but I'm gonna say it's gonna. Aston Villa can't find a result from their arse to the head at the moment, and I'm just going based on form.
Better to play than bottom of the league.
Yeah, but they can't find a result against anyone at the moment. And under Gerrard, don't get me wrong, you know they've got the players. I'm still going to say Villa will win this, but I won't be surprised if it's a draw. I'm not saying Norwich will win, but I won't be surprised.
I put Villa 1-0. Mine's a 1-0 prediction to Villa. Villa.
I'm going draw. Boring 0-0.
Southampton then host Crystal Palace. This one I've put as a draw.
Draw, yeah, I'd go with a draw on this.
I couldn't call it whether it'd be a 0-0 or a 1-1. And then
Southampton win.
That's true, Queen. That is true. She has been honest. So, Clown, you would like Queen because she has been an honest Man United fan. She says it as it is, and she's basically said their shit, but not in those words.
Oh no, Queen was in last week agreeing with everything that I said about Man United. And then even when I called the 3-1 win, she actually agreed with that as well. So she even got the score prediction for her own team right too. So, but I bet she didn't call the 1-1 draw against Chelsea though.
It'd be interesting. So what was the next one, Rick? After?
No, it was
Southampton with a draw.
Oh, what was Nutty's?
Southampton win.
Southampton win.
Then the relegation battle of the weekend. Watford host Burnley.
I've got to go Burnley.
Burnley.
Yeah, I'm up there. Wolves will then host Brighton.
Brighton win.
Wolves win.
I'm going to go for a draw. And then Leeds will host Man City in the last game on Saturday.
I'm going to go with a draw.
I call 5-1 Man City.
I've got to go for an upset somewhere if Liverpool got any chance. So I'm going to say this is the one. Go with the pro person that said it on Sky Sports and say this is the draw. This is the slip up.
See, I'm rubbing off on you now, Magic, innit? I called for the loss against Brighton for Tottenham. I got that. I called for the draw. And then I called for the draw against Brentford last week, and I got that. You're just trying to rub off on some of my magic, innit?
I rub off my own magic.
I'm going for a Leeds win.
You're going to win something.
Leeds win?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not that confident. I'll take the draw.
Hang on a minute. No. Don't make me pull up the show from 2 weeks ago where we're all saying that we don't see them dropping points at all after the Liverpool game.
Going for a Leeds win here. I got a feeling that this is the slip up.
No, I don't want them testy feelings. I want facts. Give me or your opinion then, should I say, more than facts. Why Leeds?
Because Leeds ain't out of the relegation fight. Leeds is a hard place to go. Leeds are going to be up for it.
Man City come back from playing Europe next week.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Yeah, the difference between them and everyone else, though, is they've got two squads to play that.
I just see it as a.
Sterling and all that lot. They didn't even play, so it's one of them. They're all coming back in.
I'm just doing it as well, just to be different, because I'm bored of going with the same team every week. Win, win, win. Like Leeds, Man City, I've picked a Leeds win, just to spice it up a bit as well.
That's my boy, Nutty. Go on.
Because I'd rather see Liverpool win the league than Man City, in my honest opinion. That's.
Rick's back to say.
I'd like to see Liverpool do the 4. If I'm being honest.
No, I just think
Let's
Liverpool.
move to Sunday. Anyway, let's get to the Sunday fixtures, because there's a few nice teams in there playing that I like to bet against. No. Come on.
Sunday fixtures: Everton kick it off, hosting Chelsea.
Chelsea win.
Let's be different, they said. Okay.
You can't be different with Everton? Everton are shit. They're not winning. They're not winning nothing, man.
Tottenham then host Leicester.
Spurs win.
Yeah, Spurs for me.
And then West Ham.
West Ham.
Arsenal.
No, I'm joking.
I'm going West Ham win.
I think that'd be a draw.
No,
London
West Ham
Derby
win.
and all. I think it'd be a draw.
And then Monday, Man United host Brentford.
Brentford
win.
I put that down for a draw.
The way Man United are playing right now, I think you said it, Rick. I think Man United have been beat since the start of the season, and I can't see them turning up now when they're pretty much out of everything. I don't think they've got a chance in hell to, considering they've only got 3 games left and 2 games after Monday. With Arsenal and Tottenham having 2 games in hand, they've got a chance in even getting top 4. I think they'll end up with Europa anyway, where they are, due to the fact that people were in the cup finals, etc. So they're going to get that irrespective, and I think the pretty much 7th spot is secure.
Yeah, that's going to be the next issue. They lose or draw to Brentford. You're looking at maybe not even being in a Europe competition next season. That's how bad it's getting for United at the minute. Now, I've heard some fans say, "Nah, we'll be fine. We've had like the worst of the worst out of the way. Now it's just about just getting through it, getting to the end." But if you don't improve in the next, how many games they got? 3. Like, that's 9 points. If you do not get them 9 points, and West Ham manage to still pull results out, you're not even looking at Europa. So when you lose all of that, as we said last week, what did we name? 13 or 14 players. Who are you bringing in with no Europe football?
Yeah.
Regardless of your name being Man United and having Ten Hag and the whole selling point of the rebuild, you're Man United without Europe football.
Queen, you anything to add to that? If you're still there?
I think they need to get results.
Don't you think they'll try out some of the youngsters, Rick, for the last 3 games to see who can come through for next season?
No. There's a reason you bought these players. I think it's about time that you stop scapegoating them and actually just tell them how it is. Like, whatever the fuck is going on, it doesn't affect you in the 90 minutes that you are on that pitch. Because guess what? You're a professional footballer. For 90 minutes, you're doing or meant to be doing the one thing you love doing more than anything else, and you are paid big money to do it. What more are you meant to be doing? And Man United should be doing a lot more than what they are doing. Yes, they got a good result against Chelsea, but if Chelsea had put away even a fraction of their chances, Man United would have got beat 4-1. And that's the joke of it.
So,
that,
Rick, do you think
that point alone was massive?
Do you think because the manager, obviously, Ten Hag coming in, and obviously Ragnar Rick obviously just appointed Austria's new national team coach, His head's no
Oh
longer
yeah,
in the
but that
game.
doesn't change his role. That doesn't change anything with him at Man United.
Yeah, but do you think that
In
would change the
Scotland.
players' mentality as well? Even though it's not been there anyway, don't get me wrong, it's not really been there, their mentality, but it would just have another damaging effect like this. Like you said at the start, they've been on the beat from the start of the season. Their heads now
I'm not even a
into
Man
next
United
season.
fan, and I already knew that they were getting Ten Hag. So if I knew they were getting Ten Hag, they knew they were getting Ten Hag, and they still didn't turn it around. I think Man United are done this season. I just thought that maybe, okay, playing Arsenal and Chelsea, it's not a great couple of games to be playing one after the other when you're in the rut that you're in. I get that. But for me, it's now about, I think, more damage control. If I was Hag, I would want at least, Wenger used to do it back in the day. In the group stages, we played around with the youth players and the fringe players and just give players certain time and make sure that they weren't getting rusty. Man United, I believe, need that for next season. The more games, the better for him, because it allows him to have more games to keep going. Because I think in his interview, he did an interview and he said it's going to be something like 3 years before you even see an improvement.
Yeah. He said competing. He didn't even say win the league. He said competing. That was his words. Competing.
No. Oh yeah, no, I get that, but when you sit there thinking about that, you still expect to at least win something. Then, if you're competing, you should be winning at least something.
So I think
FA
Cup, League Cup, things like that.
Obviously, in another word, making it to the finals.
Yes.
Like you right now, you're challenging. Your points behind you are classed as a title contender. Chelsea, you're not. That's the difference in levels. Whereas I don't even think in 3 years he's going to be able to do that unless for somehow this summer Ten Hag has like this amazing magic wand and is able to get the players that we, even as neutral fans like Rashford, were thinking this kid's actually going to be something. Well, no, not even Harry Maguire.
I go back to what you said last week, though, Rick, when you said about the 13 players that could possibly leave, 6 on a free, and then obviously another 6 or 7 that won't be in Ten Hag's plan. If you think, and I think Note was saying it, if you think about the money they're probably set aside for a transfer budget, plus the 6 or 7 players you may possibly sell, and the wage bill you lose.
But we also covered that last week as well. We asked how much money do they believe they would get for these certain players, and even then, I think we accumulated less than 60 million for 70 players. So, that's not, and your best money maker is the one leaving on a free.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think I don't know how much FFP come into it anymore, because the amount of time Man City got away with it, it's like ridiculous. So I don't know if FFP is even in play, but I can see Man United spending one being even not the top or close to the top behind Newcastle on spending in the summer. Because I read an article on Newcastle and how smart they were with their money and didn't spend it in a transfer window, so they can spend up to 250 million in the summer and be still within the FFP.
And I get that, but once again, money doesn't solve it. Man United are literally, we've just been talking about how money does not solve it.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Man United spent more money than anyone, and what's it got you? 80 million.
Big profile names, I don't think they're going to buy big profile names.
Really? Well, Sancho?
At the beginning of the season, Man United spent 120 million and they took 24 points from their first possible 45. Then Newcastle in January spent 90 million and have took 32 out of 45 in terms of points. So
in other words, Newcastle spent less money and have had a better second half to the season than Man United have.
They've had all season.
Well, in their first half when they were actually better.
So you think if United spent 120 million, how much money are they going to have to spend this summer to get a team?
And that was when they had all these
capable?
other players.
Yeah, that's without all these new signings that they need.
But if you saw some people that have been linked with, like with Ten Hag coming over and who he wants to bring, they're not known players. They're not big, like, you know, your Benzemas or your, you know, the big.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's down to recruitment, and a player can be world class. It doesn't make him world class in the Premier League.
No, true. I agree with that 100%.
Like, if I had got the goal scoring Ozil as well as the assisting Ozil that Real Madrid had, Arsenal fans would never have seen that guy leave. Simple. But it is what it is, and it's the same with everywhere else. Like, I don't think there's actually many players that you can honestly say have gone from league to league to league and performed at exactly the same high level standards, regardless of where they go. Look at Messi. I know it's working out for him better come the end of the season. And obviously, as we're aware, 7-8 months to settle in and get used to the new culture and the new everything. I get that. But other players don't do that. Ronaldo does it wherever he's gone. But
there's only a few players that have ever done it. You know, you look at Shevchenko, brilliant across the world, came to the Premiership, couldn't score a goal for shit.
There you go. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. Like, Newcastle can go out and spend 250 million in the summer, and I don't think they will.
No.
I think they're going to spend anywhere between maybe 150 to 200, maybe. They will spend a large percentage of it, but in my eyes, it's once again, it's the recruitment. It's not always about the names. It's not always, but it's just the way that they're put together. And I would also like to ask: are you trusting Eddie Howe with 250 million to build a squad?
You've got to be, right, if you appointed him. What are you playing?
No,
what are you?
No, I'm just asking a general question because I don't believe he's ever been allowed to have that type of money.
I don't. But I want to your question. Yes, I do. Because the only reason I say that, if you didn't trust in him, then why appoint him? Because you've made him to take your guy forward. If you're saying to me, come the summer, buy Eddie, we're bringing someone else who trusts me, fair enough. But that the whole point becomes ridiculous then.
Okay, so what if they do what Man City did, and they're doing exactly the same? Because if I remember rightly, they had Mark Hughes as their first manager.
They gave him money.
With all that money, they got him and thought, do you know what? We're going to get everything around the club sorted first, and they made maybe a couple of signings here and there, which were Robinho, obviously one of their first major signings and stuff like that. And I get that, but I believe it's going to be a long process for Newcastle, and I believe a lot of their money is going to be being spent in-house than massive marquee signings. Yeah. I think they need to make the ideal picture perfect before you're getting the ideal perfect player. Exactly like Man City did.
I think it'll be 3 to 5 years personally, their project will be. Will Eddie Howe be there for all of it? I can't promise you that.
Oh, no, I believe Eddie Howe's probably only got until the end of next season. I don't see him finishing anywhere above mid-table even next season. And as I just said, I don't believe that they're going to give him that whole 250 million to spend in a transfer window anyway. I do see signings that they will get that are Premier League proven. That's the way that I see them more doing it rather than going out and going, we want that star, that star, that star. Obviously, I'm aware that they've asked about Bernd Leno and I think
Ramsey,
it might
how
be.
Are you?
I think they've asked Arsenal about them two players. So once again, if them rumours are to be true, then it shows that the route that they're going, they're just going to look to stabilise the system while they get everything behind the scenes sorted.
Yeah.
Just like Mark Hughes did. He was a proven manager that he could keep a team in the Premier League. And as long as you can tick that over while add in, and then one summer like they did, just go, boom, Aguero, Bernardo Silva, boom, Mahrez, who's just won the Premier League title with Leicester, boom, boom. Then that's when we'll start seeing Newcastle that we're all fearing now.
Agreed. Well, good chat today, boys and girls. Been interesting. Another interesting weekend ahead of us with some big results to look forward to. Obviously, there'll be big impacts on the fourth position in for the Champions League. There will be impacts for the relegation battle, which we'll discuss today. We've got two huge semi-finals for Champions League second legs taking place, as well as the Europa Cup,
Europa
League next week.
Conference League.
So, there's a lot going on for next week's show, which we'll obviously bring up to you guys. And obviously any news that comes through throughout the week that we feel that, is an interesting debate or conversational point.
Well, hopefully next week we'll be able to talk about who the next owner of Chelsea will be and where their future will end up leading.
Yeah, because obviously, there'll be a Chelsea discussion as well. Granzi, I hope you heard me. I did say hello. So it's going to be an interesting week ahead for all soccer fans, football fans. Sorry, I said soccer, Rick. I apologise. So for football fans, in the next coming weeks, with the season come to a close, pretty soon, in the next few weeks, it's going to be an interesting end. I will also try and do for you NFL fans, get Luna, my knowledge boy, about for the draft that happened yesterday. My knowledge isn't all up there with it. Luna's, I know, is. And I have another person who will possibly join us, who's Mr. Vengeance himself, who's a massive NFL fan, who made Joe to give his input on that as well. Before we start our NFL shows back in September when it all kicks off. But the draft, I know, is important to a lot of NFL fans. So I'll definitely try to get that in during the week to give you NFL guys your chance to discuss and debate on what's happened in the draft. From what I'm hearing, some big shocking news, especially from the first pick, wasn't who it was meant to be. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that on the show. But apart from that, thank you everyone that came in today. Thank you, Gilly, Granzi, Queen, Savage, and whoever else I've missed on the chat. I appreciate all you guys coming.
Obviously, everyone else, we know you guys watch live, but obviously I've been looking at numbers on the other platforms that we upload this to afterwards, and the amount of support that I've been seeing is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So thank you all you guys that give us the views on YouTube from the viewing point of view, and go and look at the channel afterwards. We'll try to make the content as much as it for you, make it better, make improvements as we go on. But we'll do our best to make sure that we'll bring you the best news that we can find and the best information that we can locate, and to make sure it's interesting for everyone. And like we said, today's mainly about football, but we do cover off when the big fights happen with the boxing, and I think NFL season will be kicking off soon. So we'll be picking up back up on the NFL come August as well. But we'll try to get the draft show in there as well this next week and at some point. So I just want to say thank you from myself, Rick, and Nutty for joining us this week. We appreciate your support. Please keep supporting us. Hopefully, as time goes on, we'll get bigger and better and bring you even more stuff. So thank you, guys. Appreciate all your support, and we will catch you next week.
Come on, Arsenal.